We're on? All right, guys, we're back. Masonic Smoker, Jessie, Barney, Frank Castillo.
Hey.
For starters, I want to give a big special shout. Wait up. We good? We good? I want to give a big special shout out to Central Coast Garden Products. Green Cleaner. If you're not using Green Cleaner, go get you some Green Cleaner. Go get you some Root Cleaner. Keep your plants clean. Shout out Central Coast. Number one, thank you for helping out the culture, helping out Masonic Smoker Podcast. You guys make sure you guys go get yourself some Green Cleaner and Root Cleaner for your IPM regimen. MasonicSeeds.co, award-winning genetics, first, second, third place. We'll take them all, and if you want to be a part of that, you go participate at MasonicSeeds.co. Go grab you some killer beans, and also go support Masonic Smoker Podcast Patreon. We appreciate all the Smoker tier members. Thank you guys. You guys are really helping us uplift this podcast that we have here. Same thing with all the other tiers, but more so the Smoker tier members. You guys rock. Today we got, of course, and always, my buddy Frank Castillo. Shout out Frank in the house. Of course, obliterated per usual.
You got me. So it was a mix between the pink lemonade from Third Gen.
Yeah.
And some.
The award-winning second place Ego Clash entry of the Black Cherry Punch crossed to Tropicana Cookies from Trichrome Tortoise, full mount entry, purple hue, violet hash.
Yeah, you mix both of those.
You mix those. Now you're high as fuck.
I'm fucking ripped.
And we got Jessie Barney in the house. Jessie, tell us about Jessie Barney.
Oh, man. That's a long story because I'm 43 and have 4 kids. And
you're 43 and have 4 kids?
Yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah. And, dads. Woo, give it up for dads.
And I'm divorced. And
oh, yeah. Give it up for single dads.
Yeah. Well, my ex is taking care of the kids.
That's fucking fire.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm moving to Spokane to be closer to them, though.
Oh,
so
that's good.
Fire.
How old are your children?
They are 17, 16, 14, and 12.
Oh.
And then my fiance partner, she has 3 kids who are in similar age range.
No, you got a high school at your
I do. I have a basketball team
Brady
plus some
bunch.
substitutions.
Jesus.
You could do a band.
Yeah.
Speaking of bands, jam band Thursday nights. Is that the night that you guys usually do it?
There's a jam at the Vortex.
Yeah.
Which is the
And you play
91 clubs.
music?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All
Every
right.
every Thursday, right? That you
It's
guys do?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
You
spread
guys
the jam.
invited me, and I need to show
You
up
got to
one
go.
time.
I'm not going there anymore, but it's still going on. Yeah, because I'm moving. But
you got another band over there.
I'm probably going to go this week for the first time if I could squeeze in the time.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm jammed up, man. I'm leaving in 10 days.
Fucking A. How's that feel?
Man, if I could even tell in 20 minutes what's happened to me in the last year and especially the last month, it would be, let's just say, all the momentous things. The world is ending and beginning.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you're like, 40, you said?
43.
43, and the world is just beginning for you right now.
Yes, 100%. Just getting started.
Wowzers. That's kind of an eye opener for me. I'm 30.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids, and when I'm 40, I'm not big on change. I hate change. I only like change when I know it's for growth. And who knows, man? I'm just very complacent, and that sounds like kind of like a negative term, like complacent, but like I like where I'm at. I'm chilling,
Yeah.
But man, who knows when I'm 40 what life entails for me. What about you? How old are you, Frank?
30, no kids.
Okay.
Well, except
Free
my
floating.
dad. My dad is like my child. My dad is my father.
Can you elaborate on that for us, please?
My dad is a single father who has a 1-bedroom in downtown San Jose, and he rides an electric scooter to work sometimes. And
So that's why you have a soft spot for my buddy 4.
Yes, that is.
So we have a buddy named 4. We have a buddy
my dad
named 4
and
who
4 are gonna be best friends.
He doesn't drive. He drives a scooter everywhere. He'll
I
drive.
appreciate that lifestyle a lot.
He's very humble, very real. Like it's just like there's very rare. These, or at least the people I mingle with. Like, but shout out 4.
Shout
on
out
that
4.
note.
4.
I haven't seen him post.
He's good. I've seen him post.
Okay, did I don't know. I'll see.
Oh no, I tagged him in something. He responded.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't been on my phone that much.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, Jesse. That's dope. Family man. Well, got kids, right?
Yes, I am a family man.
Family
Actually,
man.
I pride myself on being one of the best parents
That's dope
in
as
the
fuck.
world.
That's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
I have
And my kids would agree.
I'm a young dad, and I'm
So
I'm
that's pretty
trying
cool.
harder every day, cause it's like when I had my son at 18, I was still a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and I was broke as fuck living at my parents, and like I would just go to work and try to like go smoke weed. I was just like not the best dad, and as time went by and 10 years passed, and I have my next kid, it's like night and day difference of like noticing me hanging out with the baby, wanting to be with the baby. And it sounds fucked up right now, but I was 18 when I had my son, and I was just like, oh, here, go with your grandma. Oh, here, go with your other grandma. Oh, here, go with your grandma. Here, and I was just like, I had to go, be 18. It was weird. I did. It took me a long time to be a good dad and be a better dad, and it's still to this day. Like I do what I can to be a good dad, and I think I'm doing an okay job. I'm doing an okay job.
Of course you are.
I think that makes a great dad.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
And I know there's always room for improvement, but like my son and myself, we're like big brothers. Like I'm his big brother
That's what's up.
because he's, I'm 30. My job is kind of like, you can't really take it serious when you're a kid. You're like, wake the fuck up. Like you just smoke weed and you hop on your phone. Like he sees the seed thing. I've been teaching him about the seeds, and I taught him how to plant seeds. I taught him how to identify female and male traits. Right now that he's 10, and I taught him a couple other things. But
that's the funnest thing.
but now he's all like, okay, I get it. There's something behind all the other bullshit that you do. But yeah, family man, I'm giving it my best shot for sure.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It's the best art form in the world, parenting, in my opinion.
All right.
And it's right up there with being a horticulturist.
All right.
It's because you're working with nature and you're working with the raw materials that like God made or divinely just here,
Yeah.
So, and there's like a feedback loop when you work with those things, whether it's plants or people, that does something to you and teaches you about the universe in a really cool way.
I've never heard that raising your children is like a way of art form. Now that I like to be good at what I do, and I'm
You're
an
shaping
artist.
people.
Yeah.
You're shaping them. I mean, they are in their, this is what I believe, they are in their raw form who they are. And at the same time, you're shaping them with their experiences and circumstances that you put them in and the way that you treat them and how you talk to them and every part of it.
No doubt. Yeah, the big brother thing, it's a double-edged sword raising my son, because they might not take you serious, but at the same time you want them to be like sharp and on point.
That's where I was lucky.
Yeah.
And I was in a really privileged place, and I happened to like have money, and I had a killer job, and I was doing construction at the time as my day job, and I was really rolling in it. And so when my son was born, I was like 25, 26.
Yeah.
And I was in a privileged position, so I got to hang out with him a lot.
Yeah.
And like just really care. And I had this quandary because, as when you're a parent, you realize that even when they're 4 months old, 3 months old, they have manipulation tactics, and they realize how to like push your buttons and how to get you to come to them, and like they're kind of running you around the room.
No, now that you mention it, yeah, they do play mind tricks.
They totally do. They're devious little.
And you don't notice.
And you don't notice, but I noticed because I was in a privileged position
Yeah.
to notice. And the first day that my son rolled over, I was there. And for those who aren't parents, when a child rolls over for the first time, they're mobile now, because now they'll just flip.
Forever.
And they'll flip to where they want to go. So they've been looking around the room wanting to flip.
That's so creepy.
So I'm sitting there and he's on the floor in front of me and he's trying to flip and he's like doing this action. And I'm like, he's gonna flip. I can see the physics of his body like reaching the fulcrum point, about to flip over. And I also am looking at his eyes, and he's looking at this plant that's poisonous. And I have plants everywhere in my house, and lots of them are poisonous. And they're all on the ground. We were total hippies in the woods and had a total hippie dream home. And so plants everywhere, sun, and he's trying to get to the plants and flip over. So I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? Because he's going to flip over, he's going to go to the plants, and now I have to I'm going to pick him up over and over and take him away from the plants, or now I got to run around and pick up all the plants and move them somewhere. I have nowhere to move them.
Now I got to get rid of all the plants.
I got to throw away all the plants. I'm like, I can't do that. And somehow something clicked with me that was like, you've got to just train him what the boundary is. And somewhere somebody had said to me, like, never spank your child out of anger, but if you ever have to hit them, it should be like a training thing, like, and not like a spank, but like a tap.
Yeah.
You know? Like a no.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And somebody else said, never hit your child with your hand. And so I grabbed a pen and I waited for him to flip, but he flipped and he went right for the plant. And as he was reaching for the plant, I didn't even say no until he touched it. And as I said no, I tapped him on the hand with the pen. And he instantly cried for a second. And then he looked at me with the devious look. He looked at me like, you motherfucker, right? And then he got this resolve, and it's a 5-month-old baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He got this resolve on his face, and he started reaching for the plant while he was looking at me. And I'm like, wow, this is complex psychology going on here. And as soon as he touched the plant again, I did the same thing. Firm no, just no. And he cried for a second again, and then he looked at me again, and he looked at the plant, and he thought about reaching, and then he pulled his hand away, and he rolled away. And he never, ever tried to touch a plant again, and I didn't have to move anything. And I had to do that one more time with the stairs. And then I never had to, like...
Do you think that's like a primordial thing that maybe like our ancestors did from the very jump? Like say they lived like on a steep hill, you know? And it's like, no, like make sure like when they start flipping around, you do this type of shit out the hill. You
yes.
know?
And from exactly that, I formed a parenting philosophy of like, there are certain things where there's a double yellow line. And if you cross the line, you die.
Yeah.
Right? That's it.
Yeah.
So those things, we as humans train each other to not do those things so that we can protect and love each other. That is love. That is being a parent. Yeah. So I was
over here's where all the lions are. Let's not go over here.
Yeah. Right.
How do you know? Well, we lost like 5 dudes learning the hard way.
And I had 2 of those things in my house. The stairs and the plants.
Yeah.
And then he was free. So the moment he was trained on those 2 things, he was completely free. He could do anything he could possibly imagine. He could put anything in his mouth. He could. Well, we did have a stove, but that's easy because you just get a kid close to the stove and you hold their hand close enough to where you can feel that it's really hot, and they pull back, and that's it. You're done. You trained them. It's
like, yeah, we figured that one out. See how quick that was?
Yeah.
You know what was always funny was the fork and the electrical socket. I always heard stories and stuff. I was never that kid. I was never like, oh, I want to see what happens. I was never like, nope, that looks dangerous.
We were the basketball kids. One time we played basketball with an aluminum bat. Baseball with a basketball and aluminum bat. So it was off in the movie. We were all like probably 3rd, 4th grade, 5th grade. We were all kids, 10, 9, 11. And nobody was home. We had just seen that basketball movie. Basketball movie.
Yeah.
And something in our mind possessed us to go in the backyard. And I pitched the basketball to my uncle, Adan, and he hits it. Boom. The bat, boom, right back to his face. Starts gushing blood. It was a horror scene. One of my cousins starts screaming like somebody's dying, and nobody was home, but the neighbors were home. And he went home and he had to get his eyes stitched. But that's just things, 'cause, you know, when you're kids, you still do dumb shit.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
funny.
yeah.
That's so funny.
And my kids are allowed to do dumb shit.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing is that then I coupled that with a couple other things because I'm a hippie. There's no taboo.
Yeah.
So there's sex, drugs, and rock and roll have all been on the table since they were also 5 months old,
Yeah.
basically. So there's nothing hidden from them.
That
about
I'm the same way. My parents were the same way, right?
Yeah.
Like my dad, he's from LA, South Central Los Angeles, and my mom is too, born and raised in the hood. They didn't hide anything from us. We lived in the hood, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
And when we were kids, my dad was still low riding. So he would have all the fucking homies over with all their low riders, like any given car music video on the hip hop shows, music videos. And that's what my dad's house looked any given weekend.
That's cool.
And that's what I was exposed to growing up.
Yeah.
And then, growing up, he tried to like man up and, get away from that lifestyle. And, he did, but he's very liberal, I think, would be the word to describe about it. But I did have like an aunt that'd be like, oh, no, like you guys can't watch Simpsons. And like they didn't do that to us, but like they would do it to our cousins.
I had an aunt like that too, who was just like, "You guys can't watch South Park," or like, "Oh, Harry Potter's the devil." And,
And
I
I'd
was
be
like, "Oh, calm down."
and I would laugh. I would pick on my cousin for that. I'd be like, "Hey, dude, like, sorry, like, sorry that." But yeah, everything's with my kids is the same way. Not that I do anything crazy in the house, like I love my wife, and they know I love my wife, and we don't like hide our kisses, and there's all the records are out there. If you ever want to dig through the record bin, you might find something with something explicit on it like that. If it's up to you to dig, but like things are different now. I think I don't know what it is. I think kids are desensitized nowadays.
Oh, the internet and video games.
Or like if they see, like if I seen boobs on a vinyl, I'd be like, where's that? Like if I see my dad accidentally show me vinyls and there's boobs on one, and he didn't mean to show that to me, I'd be like, I'm gonna go find that.
Yeah, exactly.
But nowadays they're like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, porn's on their phone.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, they don't
fucking,
care.
it's crazy.
It's
like,
pretty sweet.
like I remember our first porn magazine that we found on our uncle. Like we're like, holy shit! Like, what the fuck is this? Like, disgusting. By the way, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I found a magazine in a bush.
No, they think that's ironically funny now.
Yeah.
Like that, everything you're talking about, now that's their humor.
Yeah.
Like they use imagery from that stuff, and they use all that shit to make fun of the whole.
Did you ever go
concept.
to like a porn store, like a sex shop?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been in
Yeah.
a sex shop before.
All right, yeah.
And you haven't?
No, I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just like, me and my dad went
Have you
to a
been to
strip
an
club
arcade?
once. I have been to an arcade. Me and my dad
Did
went
you
to
use it?
No, I did not.
I used
Me-
the arcade.
That is not surprising.
I didn't.
You
grab
gotta try
anything
everything
from
once,
it.
man.
Hilarious.
Just went and checked the stuff out.
Me and my dad went to a strip club together because there was a comedy show in the back of a strip club. Then after the show ended, you get to go watch strippers for free, basically, because you paid for price of admission for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just me and my dad in the front row watching strip clubs, and there was like an Asian family next to us, and it was just like, yep, this is San Francisco. It was pretty cool.
That's gnarly. What
That's
did anything
classic.
interesting happen at the strip
I
club?
mean, he taught me how to fold ones to look like they're bigger bills.
Did you guys go on scooters?
No, we didn't go.
I'm sorry. I met your dad, by the way, already.
Yeah, you
too.
did. We're
But
at the comedy
at
show.
the
right?
at the roast battle that you
Oh
had.
yeah.
At the roast battle.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, he's a big old fucking Mexican guy.
Fuck yeah, he's a straight like fool.
Yeah. It's always so funny when people meet my father.
Yeah.
Because they meet me and they're like, oh, okay, this kid's like.
You're like, I'm not gonna mess with Frank anymore.
Not even. They just meet my dad and they're just like, oh, that guy's like. But the bartender put it the best way. Because, like, when you work at the store, it's all like a whole just random crock of characters. And the bartender, like, met my dad, and then he ran to the back where all the managers were and was like, have you met Frank's dad? He's a cholo. This is insane. What happened to Frank? And I was like, oh, God.
That's hilarious.
Because
I didn't expect it. Honestly.
I'm definitely the goofiest one out of my whole family.
I didn't expect like your dad to be like, oh, all right. You're Frank's dad, all right. Hey Frank, I see you, Frank.
I need to
He's so
see an
funny.
image of your dad now.
Yeah, I'll put
Bald head Mexican with mustache. With a Dodgers jacket on.
all the time. He never takes the Dodger jacket off. He loves the Dodgers.
That's cool.
You
Die
can
hard
picture
Dodger.
him now, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
call-
Yeah.
They call
Like
him.
you're going for a stereotypical.
That's
yeah.
that's literally
yeah,
him.
He was referred to as Dodger Frank. In the Bay Area, he's the only one that just walks around in Dodgers gear. It's so funny.
I could see it if we gave you the right outfit and shaved your and did
Hey,
the whole
he's a
thing.
You're gonna have to
Yeah.
dress up as
Like,
dad
if
for
you
next
baked,
Halloween.
if you baked up and
my God,
That would be great.
That is so fucking funny.
You're gonna have to shave it all off.
I dress him up as me.
Vice versa. You're gonna have to do him as Frank, and then he's gonna have to go tan for a couple of weeks in the Cabo somewhere.
It's so funny.
Oh man, but Jessie, man, tell us more about. I seen you're a graphic designer.
yes.
I was looking at some of your designs, pretty nifty.
Thanks, dude.
I always need some new stuff for.
I know we got to do something together.
We got to do a collab.
You're
Yeah.
also a ginger. So is my wife. So,
Oh.
yeah, fellow ginger.
Sexy ginger.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of sexy gingers. Maybe you might want to keep her away from me.
Oh
no,
my
I've
God.
learned my lessons with all that.
Wait.
No,
Wait. Is there something I should learn about gingers? I mean, I feel like.
Tell us, please.
yeah.
What's the
Oh, you
difference?
haven't unlocked the ginger?
Oh my God! I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna have the rest of the conversation.
So I noticed I noticed my orange cats like to get closer to the fire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Is it like a
the
Viking
metaphor.
thing?
That's the metaphor.
Is it like a Viking thing, like or orange cats from the Vikings? I
well,
don't know.
here's the thing: that there's gingers in every race.
There
You
are.
know what, Canelo?
Yeah, he's
so,
a Mexican.
So
ginger.
because the ginger, I forget the name of the mutation. The ginger thing is a mutation, much like similar to being an albino.
All right.
Oh, whoa! Interesting.
Tell
It's
us.
not
tell us
a.
more.
It's not like having brown hair, which is actually a genetic trait.
Yeah.
I have a genetic trait that makes my hair red, but it's because it's changing a whole bunch of things. So it's changing. I have different sensitivities to cold. I have on average a 25 to 40% increase in tolerance to any kind of medication, especially opiates.
I was just gonna ask that because that's the same thing with her. She's like she was talking about the opiate thing. Whenever she
Yeah.
goes in for like stuff like that, it just doesn't.
Different sensitivities to pain. My hair, when it goes white, with the hair that is going white, if we pulled one out and looked under it at a microscope, it's clear. So the white is actually the reflected light, whereas your hair will go gray. It'll still have pigment. So when we look at it, it's solid. It's
And that's
opaque.
only for like is I'm sorry, but like is being ginger, is that a trait? Like is red hair, just red hair on someone a trait of that?
True red hair is the mutation.
So,
And
like,
it comes with the whole suite of things.
So my beard
Has red in it.
during certain type
Yes.
it gets like reddish, and it hasn't in
Right.
a long time actually.
I get a little bit.
I haven't let it grow out enough to let it get red again. But
Right.
now that we have this conversation, I'm gonna let it grow out a bit. But I don't think it gets like, I think it's brown, not red.
Yeah, there's a brown that reflects light in a way that looks very red.
Yeah.
But true red hair is different.
No
Are your
doubt.
kids also gingers?
No, they're all blonde.
Oh.
They look like when they were little because they were like. "Duh, duh, 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 duh." My friends would all say they looked exactly like the children of the corn,
Hilarious. Those things. Yeah, those kids are.
and
very
they had just
specific.
blonde, like
Yeah.
blue-eyed, like in your face Aryans.
It's fucking dope. Though.
That's wild. Yeah.
That's what Mexicans want though.
what?
Little white kids.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Bro. You ever watched Mexican TV?
No, I haven't.
So there was a big.
I
thing-
have seen like I've clicked over to channel 22 and 34, but I've never watched.
So
it.
there was a big thing that way everyone like in Mexico, everyone was very upset when Black Panther: Wakanda Forever came out. A journalist in Mexico came out with an article being like, "It's so crazy that the only like dark indigenous representation we get in movies is from a black American guy. We don't get it from our own people in Mexico." And everyone was really upset and up in arms. But if you take a look at Mexican TV, all of the women are very like European-looking
Yeah.
Mexicans, like very fair skin. Like,
Yeah.
so they talk about the whitewashing of like Mexican TV, and it was like, oh yeah, damn, like they got a point. And everyone was so mad though.
Yeah,
But yeah.
true enough. You're not lying. If
Yeah,
you
it's-
go
yeah, it's straight
browse channel 2234, like those people don't look like any of my tias or
I mean, I'm pretty
Yeah.
light-skinned as it is, but
most of my tias, but there are people like that. But all in all, like they're capturing a certain image.
Yeah,
That's for
yeah.
fucking sure.
Mhm.
And that's what TV does. They get all the good and they package it up, produce it look nice, and we all
That's
know
how-
what's on the Weather
That's how
Channel.
they sell things. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about storms. Mi corazón.
I forgot where. Like I would be at like a English speaking establishment, and they'd have the Mexican fucking Weather Channel on. Bunch of horn dogs up in those places, man. You know what I'm talking
I
about?
know what you're talking about.
It's so
That's
bad.
so fucking
I'm
funny.
pretty sure that Snoop Dogg, his GGN segment, if you guys ever watched that podcast with Snoop Dogg, he has his own podcast. He's been doing it forever. Like, they have a whole segment on, like, just weather ladies, that look like that. And I'm pretty sure that inspiration came from Mexican fucking television. I'm pretty sure. Snoop Dogg,
That would make
correct me if
sense.
I'm wrong.
That makes all the sense in the world. I mean, it just makes sense.
Man, but
Could be way
My,
off, but it totally makes sense.
A friend of ours, I don't think, I'll tell you off screen.
no doubt. But Jesse, what's new? What are you up to today? What's in the works, man? And anything,
Man, I just wrapped up a year here in LA.
Yeah.
Been hanging out at Green Street, was with 3 is 4, and working with my best friend Jason Pinsky.
Yeah, Jason. Shout out
And,
Jason Pinsky.
And
Oh, I love Pinsky.
and AJ Sour Diesel.
Yeah, shout out
Joe Murray.
Joe Murray, yeah.
And various other assorted crew. And I'm heading back north to save money, and I actually got a really, I'm a graphic designer, as you asked a minute ago, and I've been doing that professionally for 10 to 12 years.
Any cool projects you like, gnarly out of crazy projects you worked on?
One of my favorites is the Montana Hemp Fest that I've done for years.
All right.
And they kill it, and they're taking off. That festival is crushing it. It's a really cool reggae fest that's weed-centric and really ties together the whole Montana weed community.
Nice. There's a fucking weed community in Montana, apparently. Huh?
Has been for a long time,
I
dude.
didn't know that.
We went medical in 2004.
I didn't fucking know that.
We were the first 4 states, one of the first 4.
Montana fucking hit me up, man. I don't think I know many people from Montana. If you're from Montana and you're a regular in my Instas and shit, holler at your boy, man. Put me on game, man, with some Montana lore.
Yeah.
Yeah, weed lore. Give me some Montana strains.
Exactly.
What's a Montana strain? Can you think of one?
Rocky
Montana
Mountain High?
Silvertip.
Montana Silvertip.
Whoa.
And then my favorite was the one that was underground when I was a kid that has been there since the 70s, which is Gallatin Green. And that's in Bozeman, my hometown. And that one, if there was a cut of that somewhere.
They're going to see. These guys, all one freaking, couple viewers. There's always somebody out there with a...
It's from the 70s, and when we were kids in the 90s, we all knew that there was a family that grew it, and it was a very, tight-knit thing. And once in a while, you'd get a fucking bud. You're 16, and so
Yeah.
if you get the real dank from somebody, that has it, you'd get one. And it was I still have not seen white weed like it ever.
What could you explain the terpene being like, if you could compare it to anything today?
It was really piney and limey.
All right.
But what was really unique about it was really fucking bright green, really bright. And then I remember it was, we called it crystal-y back then. Right?
Alrighty.
It was super crystal-y.
Alright.
It was snow. It was just
Nice.
so it was fucking fire shit. I remember I'm that was fire.
Fucking crystally.
Yeah.
You gotta bring crystally back.
Crystal-y was that was the 90s
That's
terminology.
That's a whole brand right there.
Yeah.
Where's this? Oh, I'm smoking on some crystally.
So I've had a deep love for cannabis since that time. And I was a glassblower in 97 and made pipes for several years and was a part of that whole scene. And then kind of drifted away from the being in the weed scene and was doing music and construction and art and all kinds of shit and my kids. And then I ended up through a really long circle starting a marketing agency. And in that marketing agency, some of my friends from my glassblowing days who had stayed with it and stayed in the weed scene were hiring me to do their shit.
All right.
Shout out to Kai Hogan, Burning Snow Glass up in Montana.
That's what's up.
So,
Fuck
so I started getting re-involved because Montana had a great weed scene 2004 on. So weed has been fire up there for a long time, and great growers up there. And
I didn't know that at all.
yeah, there's great indoor growers because it's so cold. You have to grow indoor, and it's dry there, so it's good for molds and things like that. Like, it's easier to deal with all that stuff. So it's a great environment for indoor. So and it's been going on for about 25 years. And then before that, there was good growers up there.
No doubt. They're pretty low key. Montana doesn't really make a lot of noise on the internet. You know what I mean?
I'm letting out this secret.
It's a hidden secret. Fucking Montana.
Secret.
That's cool.
That'd
Did
be
you hear a lot about Montana and weed being in the same fucking sentence? What about you, O-Dog? No?
No, nobody
that's
knew
the
because
thing
we're just a state of 1 million people.
Yeah.
So even though we went medical in 2004 and have been really strong in that way, and
Yeah.
the people of Montana are weed friendly,
Yeah.
so the rest of the country is like, it's 1 million people up in the north. Who cares?
No shit.
Well,
you
that's.
know?
I mean, it's like there's always someone locally that grows weed that's fucking killing it, right? Even if
Yeah.
it was legal everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So it's also it just makes sense that when there are spots like that there's someone who's gonna it's
That's
gonna be
gnarly.
good weed. It's gonna
Yeah.
pop up.
I didn't know that.
So then I started getting clients in weed, and weed is such a revolutionary thing, which is really a part of who I am, of like, stick it to the man, fucking create a new world, make things better for my kids, and hemp and cannabis in tandem, especially hemp with textiles and food and things of that nature, and what it can do agriculturally if we don't let it fucking turn into a Monsanto bullshit.
No doubt.
That potential is, so I just started serving those clients more and more and more with my design from Montana.
All right.
And then I started doing trade shows and being involved, and coming to California and coming to Oregon and Washington and DC and all over the place, and just got to know people. Met Frenchie along the way,
Yeah.
and through all of that became a hash fan, because at the center of it I was like, well, the way people have been smoking weed for thousands of years actually is hash.
No doubt.
So I got into that and the history of that and the history of weed, because as a designer, that's like everything. Like, you can't design from nothing. You stand on the shoulders of giants. You have to know where you're at. You of all people, you know this shit. You know, like, you're into it. And so I just did that journey, met Frenchie on a crazy fucking 2-week journey where I was gathering content for Cannabis Now magazine. And it just so happened, and we did not plan this, but I ran into him 5 times over the course of like 3,000 miles doing different things over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the first one was planned. We knew we were running into Frenchie because we interviewed him that day.
Yeah.
And then we went on this journey and met him. And through that, I became a hash expert enough to, I'm very proud that, like, on my phone, my last messages with Frenchie were about my last batch of hash, which was the best 6-star I've ever had.
Fuck yeah. Rest in peace, Frenchie, man.
He's my homie.
I got to smoke with Frenchie at Tommy Chung's like 80th birthday party or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he had his whole thing right there.
Oh yeah, the hookah.
Yeah, and I had made
It's
like
the highest I've ever been in my
I had
life.
made like a tongue-in-cheek meme with him in it as a Street Fighter character,
Yeah.
but that was just to pay homage that like you're
Yeah.
you're one of the characters of the weed industry, you know.
He is.
And I showed it to him, and he's laughing. He's like, "Who made that?" And I'm like, "Me!" And he's just like, he thought it was the funniest thing because he was like, because it was tongue in cheek. It wasn't a malicious meme. Usually,
No, he's in.
a meme of someone, people usually think like, "Oh, they made a meme of you." Like, it must have been bad. Like, no, this is like a kind of praising the characters of the weed industry.
He's also a graphic designer.
I didn't
and an
know that.
And an artist.
didn't
He
know
was.
that.
He did some cool stuff. He did his logo.
All right.
That skull and the squares behind it and stuff.
All
That
right.
was all his work.
That's fucking dope.
yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
He was badass.
First-
So fast forward, I came here to do work in Greed Street, and now I'm going up to lead a hash lab and continue building Barney Design Company, my design business.
That's fucking dope, man. We gotta. I gotta holler at you for something as far as designs are concerned, because I was skimming through a lot of your work on your page, and
Yeah, man.
very clean cut stuff for sure.
Yeah, I represent that. I love motorcycling and rock and roll and music and weed and patches and leather and denim and fucking real shit.
No
real
doubt.
humans.
No doubt.
It's my shit,
Fuck it.
so
The first time I hopped on a motorcycle was a mini bike that my cousin had just got for his like Christmas or his birthday or some shit. His birthday is in December, so it could have been 2 for 1. Wouldn't you hate it? Your birthday's like on the 24th, and they're like, "Well, this is for both." Well, that was him. So he got a motorcycle.
You get extra special gifts though.
I hope so. I hope so.
I think so. I think that's just
It's
in the
got
law of the
if you're
universe.
putting 2 in 1, it's got to be.
Yeah, it's got to be
That's
extra.
the rule. You heard that, guys.
Yeah.
So I hop on his mini bike, and I hop on it, and I'm just, and I fucking bust a U-turn, and I'm going the other way, going down the street, and I fucking just run the whole thing into the gate, and the gas tank or something just like gets sliced with like part of the gate, and that was my first time and last time ever riding a motorcycle of any kind. And I was like, oh, sorry, like I fucked up your bike. My cousin, if he ever watches this, he's gonna be like, oh yeah, you did fuck up my bike, motherfucker. And that's probably why they always like.
Did it get fixed?
No, of course not.
Oh, that's it.
That's the bike. Like they're like it was.
The lesson was shouldn't let your cousin ride it.
Nope.
Yeah, but there's a reoccurring theme with them letting other cousins borrow vehicles and them trashing their vehicles. Now that I think about it, since we were that old, that's crazy. It just clicked right now. Like, bad luck, Brian. I'm so sorry, but I take care of my cousins. Like it's Daisy's cousin, Daisy's brother. Daisy downstairs helps us all the time. My cousin, her brother. That's who I did that to. My cousin Kitty. Oh man, I'm sorry, Kitty. Fucked up your bike. Bikes are scary.
It's bad karma, bro. Yeah.
I'm too pussy to hop on a bike.
Well, here's the thing about bikes. If you're gonna ride them, the only way that you should actually ride them is there's a motorcycle class in every state, and you should take the class. It's the safest thing to do in the world. In fact, I say every driver should take the class because it'll make you a better driver. And that would make you a better human, and that would make you better for all of us. So go sign up. It's like $250 or $350. It's a weekend. You just learn how to operate a motorcycle properly.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I'm a terrible driver.
It's worth it.
I'm so bad. I got a speeding ticket the other day.
How much?
I was going like 100, and he just marked me down for like 90 or something.
Well, speeding doesn't mean you're a terrible driver. That might mean that you're a skilled driver. You just don't obey the rules.
I'm a good driver.
Yeah.
I'm not like a clut, Oh, I don't fit here. I'm a wait. No, I'm like, oh, I fit.
That's one of the places I carry a lot of ego.
Yeah.
I look around, I'm like, I'm the best driver on the road.
Axe clutch.
That's so crazy because I also think I'm the best driver.
Wait up, Otis. Are you the best driver in the room?
Except when you're driving and I go on my motorcycle.
There we go. Frank, are you a good driver? Do you think you're a good driver?
Yeah.
Oh no, Frank thinks he's a good driver.
I also think I'm a good trimmer too. So yeah.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to put you to the trim test now and the drive test.
Frank, I need some trim
I
help,
also
buddy.
gotta
Where you
trim
at?
and drive. Yeah.
Oh my God,
That's so funny.
that's a.
But you got trimming is complex because you could be competing for speed
and quality.
and quality,
Yeah.
or are you just going for quality because it's a different thing?
There's a cheating aspect to it, right? You could just next.
Yeah.
No, we're aiming for grading skill too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm talking.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I'm the judge of
So
that.
he can take his time. It's not about time, or is it also timed?
There's got to be an equation.
It's got to be an overall time.
There's got to be a
but-
time. Oh, it took them X amount of time. We got to have some kind of mathematics algebra dude figure out the equation. I just know the X's.
Has there ever been something about this, like an actual
are
grading?
We
Pretty
brought it
good,
up.
yeah.
We brought it up already. So Sour Waves accused Frank of being a terrible trimmer. That he thinks he's a terrible trimmer. And
Based off of just looks.
just based off of just looks. So we've been meaning to have some type of trim, which we can now because I have a huge bag of weed that we could probably do that with.
But it also depends on the weed and when you trim it and how it was taken care of.
We'll have
to
like
trim.
we'll have
Come
like
on, like this is like there's so many
There's
factors.
You know what?
right?
You know what? We're just gonna have to rent an Airbnb. Sour Waves is gonna have to bring a bunch of stuff, and then we're all just gonna have to big brother it up and just sit, and then you know what I mean?
yo Waves like we have to keep the weed like it's not.
Like, is there a grading scale already of cultivars and how hard they are to trim already? Like, just put
No.
all of the cultivars on a grading scale.
They
of
should
like
make that
1 to 100.
of all the but usually also what I noticed the stuff that usually ends up becoming elite besides the hash making varieties and all the fucking everyday pheno that people put out on the market, but like the elites, the stuck in stone elites, a lot of them have like a low leaf to flower ratio, which is what a lot of people hunted for back in the day. Maybe there is some stuff that isn't as low to leaf to fucking flower ratio, but all in all, like the ones like cookies and GG4 and fucking just that they were hunting for things that were more uniform. Nowadays everything is like cross to everything. My stuff is everything's cross to everything. So you might get stuff that's super leafy, like. But that's just my 2 cents.
Or it's not even if it's super leafy, it's how the structure works.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it could be crazy leafy, but they're all like visible, and you
Yeah.
can just be like,
Yep. That's that cookie structure right there,
Yeah.
where it's just easy peasy. Ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
with,
You just go
1,
around
2,
the
3,
stem
1,
of
2, 3.
Yeah.
Easy. And then there's the ones where it's just like, oh, you're fucking in there. Like,
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you're fucking.
yeah.
And then how it's grown too. Like light depths are more forgiving than like a full term outdoor where it's all spindly and crazy and just more leaf, more biomass, and light depths are a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
My 2 cents. There's a lot of ratios and not a lot of equations to doing this trim contest. It's not just any.
It's
Oh,
so
it got
deep.
it got
Waves.
so
What were you
serious.
thinking?
Well, that's the thing about the plant and every aspect of the plant is the more you get into it, you're like, it's like people, we know because we're hash heads, but like explaining to someone on the outside all the gradations of what's possible from how it's grown, what genetics you have, who grew it, what place it was grown in,
Yep.
what the year was like and the weather was like
Yep.
that year, like all of these things. And even if you're growing indoor, the humidity levels outside and the change of the weather and the barometrics is affecting your room. And it's like the complexities all the way through to harvesting, curing, processing to the final, like you have this thing. It's astronomical how many details there are that
Yep.
can change going from, oh yeah, that's 98% quality to 100%.
Yep. Straight up. That's all. That's all part of the growing process for sure, and meeting like the perfect bud or whatever you're aiming for, perfect hash, perfect resin.
The quest.
Yep. And that's and I always tell people, as crazy and as complicated as that sounds, easy does it. Less is more.
Well, yeah, because good living soil, sunlight, and water.
And when they go into the scene and they're thrown into the pool and they see all these like industrialized places and just like 1,000 lighters, huge greenhouses, and all these flower shots, all these nutrients, they're like, what the fuck do I do? And it's like, easy does it. We'll
Yep.
get you some nice soil and good genetics, and shit, sun-grown always crushes it. If you don't
Yep.
want to try too hard, and if you want to do indoor, good environment, good
Dude, that 24K hash that I made that I mentioned, that
Yeah.
Frenchie guided to me to, it was Soil King soil
yeah.
and in a big pot.
Yep.
And I didn't have money for nutrients.
Yep.
So I watered it with water
Yeah.
out of the well.
Straight up.
And that hash was dark,
Yep.
but it was like what happened was I thought I trapped moisture in it because it just kept melting as it dried.
Nah, but Tangy gets dark as
It just
a
kept-
motherfucker.
It was dry, because I did
Yeah.
air drying, and as it dried, it just kept melting. And I was like, oh no, there's water in it. I'm not getting it out. And it just kept melting, and like 12 days of drying, it still was liquidy. And I thought I really fucked up. I didn't know what I had done. I thought I had fucked it up.
Yep.
So I like literally, Frenchie was like 60 miles from me at the time because I was in Cloverdale.
Yeah.
And I took it to him and was like, bro, I think I fucked this up. And he took some of it and he looked at me and he smiled super huge. And he was like, no, you made the best.
Oh my God, I love it.
Dude, sun-grown
Yeah.
soil, water. It cost me, and I got given the cut.
Yeah.
So it cost me like, I was given the soil too.
Yep.
So it was free.
Cost you your time.
And I got like a bunch of hash
Yeah.
off that plant, dude.
Yep. I recently did a wash in the stuff
Yeah.
from my winter crop in the backyard, and I have like, they sent me a picture, and it's like, there's 4 trays that are probably this long, and 2 of them are just,
Yeah.
and then 2 of them are
Yeah.
just, and we're gonna be smoking that.
Yeah.
And if I see you before you head out, I'll let you get a taste or two.
Oh,
You
yeah,
already-
that'd
and
be
and it's from
amazing.
resin that I grew.
Oh, yeah,
And,
that's the shit.
My uncle washed it.
That's the shit.
But shit, let's
Sick.
thank you for pulling up, Jesse. Man,
Yeah,
I'm
shit,
glad
what time are we
for
at?
bringing me in.
we're at
dude.
50, baby.
Oh,
we're-
perfect.
Yeah,
Sick.
fucking thank you for hopping on here, Jesse. Always, nice seeing you. I ran into you at the Vortex
Yeah.
with Dan. Shout out
Yeah.
Dan. Shout out to
Dan for
91.
sure. Yeah.
If you guys ever get to do are in LA or are in LA and there's something happening, make sure you're following On the Bus Industries. Usually they'll post any given event that's happening.
And the
any given
91
week.
Club.
And the 91
And the
Club.
Vortex DTLA.
Yeah, make sure you're following. That's the club right there. Those are the
Yeah,
homies, man.
Those
I
are
always got love for them. We're all in the family. We're all in LA. We hold each other down.
I'm going to be back, too. I'm going to build myself up
Yeah,
so that I can fucking come back here and
Hell
buy
yeah.
property.
I'm here,
a
baby. I'm not
Cali
going
boy.
nowhere, man. I bought a house in Compton.
That's legit.
Yeah, so I bought my house in in the neighborhood.
Those
I
are your
grew up.
roots, right?
Yeah.
That's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
That's the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
And with what you do, you're like a real influence in the game over
Yeah.
there.
I'm just doing what I like and just being me,
Yeah, that's
unapologetically, just doing what I want. But thank you again. Anything you
Dude.
want to plug?
On myself, Barney Design Co. I do
Hell
the
yeah.
best graphic design for cannabis there is. I've
Hell
been
yeah.
doing it a long time. I've served a lot of people in every state.
Hell yeah.
And then I'm going up to do this hash lab for my homies Emerald Growing, and the brand that they put out is called Tasties.
All right. Fuck yeah. Tasties, Barney Design Co.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Fuck yeah.
And shout out to my homie Jason, as I said, Mr. Pinsky.
Yeah, shout out Jason
Hey,
Pinsky.
Dave Sour Diesel, Dan Spillane for supporting me this year.
Hell
My girl Gwyn.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Shout out all
light
the
of my life.
all our
My
ladies.
kids.
Shout out all the kids.
Shout out the kids.
Yeah, you know.
Any pets?
My kids have the pets.
All right.
Kirby is a little Boston Terrier. I love him. He's so fucking awesome. And then they have a German Shepherd, Wicket.
All right.
Ooh.
Fucking
Yeah.
Kirby and Wicked up in there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Well,
Yeah.
thank you again for coming on here. Frank, what are we plugging today? Peaked, baby,
Peaked,
all day, baby.
Comedy store, catch me doing stuff there, and then I'm a jam in the van. I'm places doing comedy, smoking weed. I'm really high. I'm so high.
Shout out Peak, shout out JP, man. We got to get JP on here to do some reviews with us.
If you're
JP.
hooked with Jam in the Van, you got to connect those guys with the Jam over at the Vortex. There's synergy right there.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking Vortex, Jam in the Band collab. I always want to give a big special shout out to Green Cleaner, Central Coast Garden Products, IPM on point. I use Green Cleaner. You should use it too. Also, Masonic Smoker Podcast, Patreon. Make sure you become a Patreon member. There's 3 tiers, $3, $9, and $150 for the big dog smoker tier patrons. I appreciate you guys always. Big special thank you to my smoker tier Patreon members. MasonicSeeds.co, award-winning genetics. Banana God just won first place. Ego Clash Full Melt Make sure you guys go grab all your Banana God hybrids, Banana God V2, Banana God Fems. We just dropped the RS11 Wilson Fems. Make sure you guys go lock those in. Lord knows we got 1,000 offerings on MasonicSeeds.co. Go check that out. MasonicSonFairfax.com for all your apparel needs. Go get you a fanny pack, the Blammy pack for all my guys that, like to, do their thing proper. Am I missing anything? I got 1,000 other companies.
I think we're good.
That's it. Thank you guys for tapping in. YouTube, Discord, Telegram, podcast. You know it, baby. Fax machine. Fucking payphone. You name it. We got
Send
it.
it. Peace.
MasonicSeeds.co, baby. Let's go.